What's up, junkies? Welcome back in for yet another wonderful edition of Pigskin Junkies. We are back. We're back on the grind, back from Vegas. We'll get onto that later. But first, have some special announcements to make. But before that, the usual introductions. I'm Michael Larson. That slightly uglier version of me is Jerry Larson, but you can't see him. And then the way better looking of both of us is the Scott Panza.
Everybody knows what we look like now, so let's let them be judges.
Yeah. They can. I'll put another Twitter poll up there. We'll see what happens.
Put a Twitter poll up. Marry, fuck, kill.
Yeah. That's a great idea.
I honestly think that'd be phenomenal.
We might have to do that just for fun.
Yeah.
But the problem is, I don't think Twitter's capabilities allow you to do that.
But also, it's a bunch of guys voting on us, too. So I don't know.
That's true. I wonder if we have any girl followers.
No chance.
Yeah, no chance.
If you are a girl, a female.
Actually, I think Kelly in Vegas follows us.
If you are a female, tweet us.
If you're a female and you follow us, please let us know you're out there.
So,
over under. I bet the total is like 5.5.
I'd take the under hard.
Well, you have my wife and our sister. That's at least 2.
I think Peyton follows. I'm not sure.
So that's 3. I mean, Scott, tell him.
My wife does not have Twitter. So.
Oh, wow. No Twitter. Okay.
That's good. So, yes, that's who we are. We recently had a competition, and Jared was the, ambassador of that. So, Jared, I'll let you grab the bull by the horns here and explain the winners.
Balls.
Yeah, the Wall Street Bull, right by its bronze balls.
Yep, so we had 3 winners, and I actually tied for 3rd place. But Mr. Lepien, or however you say his name, Mr. Louisiana, even though he's not from – I'm going to say he's from Louisiana because I'm like, I sent you money. So I hit this guy up. I said, slide up in the DMs, and they both did.
And the guy was like, what's a DM? I thought that was great.
Yeah, he's like, what's a DM? It was awesome, yeah. And I'm like, hey, man, you want me to, like, send you a $200 free play? I got to send you this account. There's all these things. Or I can just – at first I said, or I can just send you $100 cash, like half of a free play, right? And he's like, yeah, whatever. The cash is fine. I'm going to donate half of it to the Special Olympics. So I'm like, wow, just tugging on the heartstrings early in the morning. I was doing this, like, at the gym at whatever, 6. So I –
Congrats on working out. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, thank you. You can't tell. So wound up sending the guy $200 for taking 1st place. Congratulations. You killed it. Great take by Lepien. And then Bugman won a $100 free play. If he's listening, which I presume he is, the offer of that same offer stands for you. I haven't exchanged anything with him today. But and then 3rd place, yours truly. And then tied with Kurt L. Kramer, so we'll get him on the show because I guess do I get my own segment to talk about whatever I want? He said, did he say it was 3 minutes?
No, I said that. I thought you said that early on.
I thought he was trying to pimp me for more time. There's no way I said 3 minutes. I said like 1 minute max.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
At first I was like 15 seconds. And then
3 minutes is a long time.
Yeah. I'm like 15 seconds is way too much work for me to find you and coordinate and get you on this thing. 15 seconds. I'll at least give you a minute. But, yeah, 3 minutes is a long time.
So that
was that. That's the contest.
You guys were so near the top of the leaderboard because it'd be really embarrassing if you were Scott Panza guessing at every college game type of level. Yeah. And I was in smooth 41st place or something like that.
I was going to say, hard to claim being an expert if you're taking, like, 50th in your own contest. Against the spread.
I had more wins. I had the same amount of wins as Kurt and more wins than Jared, actually. So I finished, I think, tied for 5th.
But you missed out on the important games? Is that
Micah did not hit the New Year's 6 in the title game.
Felipe Franks decided he knew how to play football all of a sudden, and Jim Harbaugh, I forgot, doesn't know how to coach in bowl games. So
or against any team that knows what they're doing.
Yeah. So that was exciting.
And maybe this is where I'll get my 1 minute segment as a 3rd place finisher to tell everyone that I told you so on Tua Tagovailoa, that he's a great quarterback, but does take a lot of risks. Mm-hmm. And this will probably be a good segue. Tua is great. But I mean, people were talking about number 1 overall pick, Heisman Trophy. Alabama's never going to lose while he's there. That was 8 weeks ago. And now Trevor Lawrence basically will be the number one overall pick whenever he decides to come out. Would probably be the number one pick this year, next year, and the following year when he will be the number one pick. Mm-hmm. And Tua just makes pretty ballsy throws that, very candidly, with that offense, he doesn't have to, but likes to push his luck. And against a quality team like Clemson, they made him pay for it. Now, the sequencing of the game, they're way down. He's got to start pressing. But I think the pick six, obviously, right out of the gate, changes the tone. And then he threw a bad interception at the end of the second quarter where they could have buttoned it up a little bit. So, I hit the nail on the head on that one. Clemson plus the points, Clemson money line, all of the above. Not surprised that they won. I am surprised the fashion in which they won by 4 touchdowns. I don't think the game was that much of a blowout as the scoreboard would indicate, but because Bama was moving it, the lack of a kicker with them just continues to puzzle me. Like, you have not had a kicker for 10 years. You can get any kid you want. Maybe you should get a kicker.
Yeah. Well, he doesn't offer him scholarship, so you're not going to get anyone. Clemson's defense, I mean, Brent Venables is hands down the best defense coordinator in college football. I don't think he's going to go anywhere. They've multiple times been like, hey.
He's making like $2.2 million.
Well, that's what I'm saying. And he doesn't want to go anywhere and build anything. So it's like, why would you when you have this? What you got? I mean, they had 7 tackles for a loss, 3 fourth down stops. Now, one of those was arguably the dumbest play call in the history of football when they're playing safe defense and you try and run a fake field goal on 4th and 6 and run it between A and B gap with your kicker as your lead blocker. And 2 interceptions, one of those obviously for touchdowns. For me, yes, Lawrence is phenomenal, but what I'm very excited to see going forward is the development of Justin Ross. Before the college football playoff, this guy had 1 100-yard plus game receiving. 1. And that came against...
Yeah, that was weird.
Yeah.
He's a freshman, though, so you're coming into it a little bit.
But still, okay, so you have your 2 biggest receiving yards of the season and the 2 biggest games of the year. I mean, that's awesome. That's how you draw it up. And you've seen his hands are phenomenal. His route running is unreal, and obviously his speed and athleticism is there. That
Phoenix City, way to go, Gus.
Yeah, but that
nice job.
That receiving came week 3 against Georgia Southern. So let that sink in. I mean, that was against really nobody, and then he just blows up onto the scene. I, for one, will be cheering hardcore for the Vikings to tank in 2 years, 3 years, 2 years now, to get Trevor Lawrence, because I'm sick and tired of not having a quarterback, which I'm going to be kind of a mini segue here, because I don't think there's really much more to say about the national championship unless, Scott, you got anything you want to throw in there?
0% chance Scott watched the game. 0.0. Mr. Blutarski.
I had it on, and then I was like, this bores me.
If that bores you, Scott, you'll never watch one snap of it. Like, that is the best college football game that we've had in 3 years. Mm-hmm. Like level of talent on the field.
I just couldn't get into it, guys. I'm sorry. There's something wrong with me, obviously. I didn't get all the pageantry, but sorry.
It is
not for me.
So, yeah, I think you'll be seeing a lot of tanking. We joke about this, what's tanking for the NFL, what would that look like? Because it's not like you can, like, losing in the NFL is an easy option either. Like, it's kind of hard to lose at the same time.
Yeah, you can't really play half speed.
Unless you're the Cleveland Browns.
Seriously hurt.
The problem is there's, like, all these pros, they need all their game film to look good. So you can't tell your players to go tank. We need to go do is hire a Steve Wilkes that's an awful coach and just have him lead your franchise for a year. That will ensure you're getting the number 1 pick, because once you just have bad leadership at the top, it'll just flow down. So any team so for the Vikings, unfortunately, they're going to have to get rid of Zimmer. They should bring in Hugh Jackson for a year. They'll go 0-16. They'll get the first pick. It won't look like that they were trying to tank. Then they fire Hugh Jackson. They hire Zimmer back.
I was going to say, the wink deal with Zimmer, we're going to fire you for 2 years.
Just go
hunting.
We're
going to hire you back. Yeah.
You'll have who sings that song, Coming Home, I'm Coming Home, like when Carmelo came to
P. Diddy.
Yeah.
And when LeBron came to Cleveland.
Oh my God. That's what you do for Zimmer. Fire him for a year. Hugh Jackson in, 0-16. Trevor Lawrence in. Bye-bye, Hugh. Here we go. Zimmer, you're back.
Hugh Jackson was almost hired as it was in consideration for the Vikings offensive coordinator job. And I would have thrown myself off of the SunTrust building downtown Orlando. Fast. It's so fast.
I don't get how these guys, like some of these guys get jobs. It's baffling to me. But all the retreads. Do you guys want to talk about sort of what you thought of the hires of, the new head coaches this week? What are you guys thinking?
Oh, yeah. I'm interested.
Our guy Kingsbury?
Yes, I want to hear thoughts on that.
Well, did you see who he hired as his offensive coordinator?
No,
Steve Sarkisian.
Oh no!
So they are going to go further into the toilet. Like, what
Vance Joseph on the D side.
But I like Vance Joseph as a defensive head coordinator. I just don't like him as a head coach. I liked him. I liked Gase. I like Gase. I think he's just an incompetent. The problem is he's going from the frying pan to the fryer, going from the Dolphins to the Jets. Like, I think we talked about it. I don't remember if it was last week or 2 weeks ago. Like, you look at the teams that change coaches in the NFL, it's the same 6 to 10 every other year or every year, whatever it is. Like, so some of this is just institutional. Like, there's incompetency at the organizational level, and the coach is the one that gets fired.
Mm-hmm. This year, one of the things I'll give away now is what we were really targeting early is where there was coaching turnover that I thought was going to have a very positive impact on teams like the Bears, like the Titans, and hop on those teams early before the market really caught up to, hey, Matt Nagy's a really good coach. He's going to be really good for Trubisky. He's not going to look like an incompetent quarterback out there as much anymore, and hop on that train early. And same with Mike Vrabel. He made the defense step up a little bit. Change was good there for Mariota in the offense, so we were hopping on them early. So next year, I'll be on the Jets early probably, unless, we'll see what they do in the offseason with all their free cash. But it's going to be really beautiful when they trade for AB and sign Le'Veon Bell. And everyone's going to get all hyped up that they're going to beat the Pats and then we beat 37-5.
Hey, nobody knows the Jets like my man Scott Panzer right here.
That's right. AFC East wizard.
Yeah.
So Bills, Jets, Dolphins,
Bills,
Pats.
Mafia, baby. Ooh, baby. They're going to be good next year. I can't wait.
I will say
they're going to be good.
I'm interested. This just shows you, though, that the NFL is such a copycat league that they see this Kyle Shanahan and they see Sean McVay and they're like, oh, young guy, offensive mind, just put him in here. Oh, he coached Pat Mahomes at Texas Tech. Man, he might be a quarterback guru. Yeah, maybe he knows how to coach a quarterback. But can he can he manage an entire team?
No chance.
No.
That's I think I heard it on the Rosillo podcast like earlier this week. These guys are coming into these interviews like jockstrap carrier for like XYZ team. Also had a gin and tonic with Sean McVay at the combine. And they're like,
hired.
You're hired.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're hired. You're young. You're good looking. Yeah, you were hanging out with McVay. Yeah, in.
The Vic Fangio hire is going to be supremely underrated. I think he's going to have an awesome impact on that team. Their defense is going to be great. That's a tough place to play. They need a new OC. I'm glad Kubiak's not going to be there. Get a new guy in there. Get a nice young guy who's going to work with Fangio. And we'll see what they do at the quarterback position. Case Keenum, you really let me down week 17. I'm sure it's not all your fault, but, oh, man, he's not good. No. He's really not. He's a backup. He's a lifetime backup.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an NFL player.
Yeah.
He's just not he's a fringe starter, but should be a backup.
He's better than Trent Dilfer. Better than Trent Dilfer. Not by much, but I think he's better.
I was gonna say I think they're very similar.
To lose in this league by winning or something.
You can't lose games in the NFL and still win. That's what he said. Yeah, I was like,
that's what he said out loud.
He literally on like Sunday NFL Countdown. You cannot lose games in the NFL and still win.
I'm really sad, Z's, that my man Colin Cowherd has to have him on his show once in a while because it's an instant fast forward turn off whenever I hear Trent Dilfer or Rob Parker hop on that show.
Rob Parker's the worst. You don't like? I think Dilfer knows the X's and O's.
I think he does too. I just don't think he's capable. I think that's why he was the perfect quarterback for that Ravens team, though, because he knew. Yeah. I just have to go out here. This is what the defense is going to give me. I'm going to take it.
13 points and you'll win.
100%. So those anonymous player votes came out today as well. The voted for most underrated quarterback in the NFL was none other than Scam Newton out at for the Carolina Panthers. But the most overrated quarterback, drum roll please. He just got paid a boatload of money. Prime time Kirk Cousins.
Yeah.
That fired me up. I was so happy. Yeah.
Just remember at Kitties, every time Kirk Cousins is on prime time island game, you are betting against him.
Fade
it's
sauce.
Lock and loaded.
That's
Kirk Cousins prime time bet against.
That's the whatever, the little like rotisserie cooker. Set it and forget it. You move on.
You set it and forget it.
Yeah. That's all you gotta do on prime time.
8 seconds later, you got a rotisserie chicken ready to go. Wham.
Sham wow. There you go. There's
never mind that it takes 34 minutes to like baste the thing with whatever the hell you got to put on there. And then he just set it, forget it. Okay, thanks, pal.
So, for those of you who know via social media, we were in Vegas this past weekend. It was an awesome time. I'll kind of let these two share about it because they were there a little bit longer than I was. But it was my first time out there. It was a heck of a time. These two showed me the ropes. We had a real fun time. Blackjack tables were a time as well. If you could see me, I'm winking.
Borderline blackout.
Yeah.
I am convinced that the auto shufflers at Aria rigged those decks against me. Because I can't. Every time the dealer showed a card, it was paint. Every time. I couldn't get on one run, but the trip as a whole was fantastic. Everyone at the Westgate was just phenomenal to Jared and I. Had us set up nicely for the Saturday games while we were out there. And then we went over to the South Point. We hung out with our close friends in the desert, Uncle Brent and his show. It was a blast, and Jared and I had a great time being on with them. We can tweet out the video too, Jared. I have a link for.
Okay, good.
Yeah, so it was a blast. I rewatched it this week. I thought it was a lot of fun with Uncle Brent.
So did you do the John Gruden bit? Was that premeditated or was that just off the cuff?
That was off the cuff, and I forgot that he called the games for him. But I mean, it's just the truth. We knew he was going to struggle as soon as he came back into the league, and I was betting against him every week until.
I think Brent even admitted that. Like he thinks he knows what he's doing, but it's gonna take a minute to get back in the swing of things.
Yeah,
it's tough.
We had some shots before. That's whatever. It's a Freudian slip.
I remember the week one game. It was Rams at Raiders, and it was like, Sean McVay, whose whole life is football, versus John Gruden, who was just airing Hooters commercials a year ago. We were all over that one.
And Corona.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Corona. Now Tony Romo's running it.
Yeah, unbelievable. Yeah, we had a blast. There's a lot of people to thank. Thank the people at VSiN, including Mr. Musburger, Maddie, our proxy, who did a great job and actually set that interview up. Speaking of which, I owe him a tweet about their proxy service. It was great, super easy to use, and we'll obviously be using them next year. Who else do we have to thank? We have to thank the people at the Westgate. Jay Cornegay, John Murray, Rosemary was fantastic, and Ray over there. I mean, wonderful, wonderful people. Mike and I were talking actually like on the plane back on Sunday. Well, before the flight took off, I slept most of it, thankfully.
Until that lady was talking.
He's like, yeah, that was really cool. And I'm like, that's not normal. They really took care of us and were extremely, extremely hospitable. So, the blackjack dealers, whatever, you can shove it where the sun don't shine. But we took it kind of in the teeth. Great dinner, great food. Great time. We'll definitely be back out there. It's a great city. So
You know what's cool is this year they're starting signups for the Super Contest in March. So
In March.
you're out there for March Madness. But I think I'd prefer to wait until the summertime, my man.
Yeah, every dude and his uncle is going to be out there for March Madness. We used to go for March Madness, and it's just become a total dick fest. Like, can't move, 6,000 dudes all there. Not the vibe.
And then you're stuck watching college basketball, and I was just before we hopped on.
Scott's a big college basketball fan. Canisius, Mac especially.
Oh, God. Siena versus Marist. Let me tell you, that is a barn burner of a game.
It's going to be a great one.
The only reason why we're watching is because Jared, myself, and one of our friends, we are teaming up into the DraftKings Sports Betting Championship, and we're trying to catch fire with some NBA college basketball parlays tonight.
Yeah. I was going to say, I think we'll keep the name of the team removed just because there's some strategy behind it and a couple of things about when the picks are revealed on this show and when they'll show up in the DraftKings contest and all that stuff. So we'll give you guys a fill-in afterwards, figure out kind of what's going on because you're here for the picks and that's at least the NFL games. That's what we want to talk about. That's what we want to give you. So we'll keep that to ourselves and let you know probably on a recap show when we get Kurt on next week.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, we'll get right into it. The Saturday games first. Kicking off at 4:35 Eastern Standard Time. Was that good? Was that good? No?
That was good.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was good. Very broadcasty.
We got +5 Indianapolis. Well, I guess it'll be -5 Kansas City Chiefs hosting the Indianapolis Colts. Fun fact, in my entire existence as a human being, the Chiefs have never won a playoff game at home.
Oh, boy. What do you have to say about that, Scotty?
I do not buy the Chiefs in this spot. I am all over the Colts. I know it's a square dog, as Jared's been telling me all week, but I'll tell you a couple things that concern me. I've watched Patrick Mahomes 4 times in primetime this year. He's lost every game. Stats of first-time quarterbacks in the playoffs. Not that shiny for Mr. Patrick Mahomes as well. Way under the number, way under 500. The weather is going to be a problem there. Has he ever really played in weather? He played at Texas Tech. So it's going to be snowy. They're a team predicated on big play offense. Having a lot of snow is not really conducive to that type of offense and getting them going. I'll take the Colts all day. It's my second favorite bet of the weekend. I like the Colts and I like the under. I think that it's going to be a big Marlon Mack game. He looked fantastic last weekend, and the O-line for the Colts is just so good. They're giving Andrew Luck so much time, and the Chiefs have no pass rush to speak of. Give me a grinded out game from the Colts. I expect to go under the number. I think 57 is just way too high. And I expect I don't know if the Colts win, but they're definitely covering the 5. It's going to be a 3-point game.
Micah, you have any comments?
I mean, my fear is with how Indianapolis has been playing lately, I kind of want to watch this line as it gets closer and closer to kickoff because I think a lot of people are going to try and come in and hop on the Colts after what's been happening with them recently. They're unbelievably impressive. I mean, obviously we had to all sit there and watch that Sunday night game to get into the playoffs and just beat our head against the wall. And then last week they just came out and it was a no-brainer, and they just took care of business on the
Beaver
ground.
style.
Yeah.
No-brainer.
Andrew Luck is a phenomenal quarterback. Talk about having intangibles and also having the brain of a genius at the quarterback position. Yeah, #Intangies. I like the Colts.
One thing I will add, biggest mush gambler that we know told me today, take out your 401k money and put it on the Chiefs. So.
Well, after spending time with him this past weekend, I'm officially locked in on the Colts. I'm putting it in right now.
Over 24 first half Colts with 3 touchdowns in a row and then just crickets. I actually agree with Scott. I do like the under in this game. Andrew Luck, Frank Reich have a nice rapport going with bleeding the clock and stretching out drives and really coordinating what they're doing. I think that will be tougher on the road, but you've seen them do it twice on the road here the last 2 weeks. So I'm on the Chiefs in this spot. Scott, this is the first time Scott and I have really vehemently disagreed in the last multiple weeks. And he was obviously right most of the time this season's over me. I just think 2 weeks in a row, Joe Public has watched the Colts dominate in island games. The first one was against Tennessee, and then, of course, against Houston last week. Looked impressive on the road both times. What I think people are really discounting is this is their fourth road trip in 5 weeks. Everything that you said about Patrick Mahomes is valid. All the stuff about Andy Reid is all valid. And I can see him with rosy, fat chipmunk cheeks this weekend, just looking like Jason Garrett, being like a squirrel, with them down 14 points. So I just think this line, and I said this before, you look at the other teams that had a bye and we're laying 7, we're coming off a bye and are at home. They're laying 7, they're laying 8, they're laying 9. And the Chiefs are at 5. I think they should be in that 7 or 8 range. So for that reason, I will take the Chiefs minus the 5. I do. I would expect the line to get a little bit lower. I think you may even be able to squeeze some 4s by tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
So I think if you like Colts, take them now, and if you like Chiefs,
wait.
Sit on your hands a little bit.
Next up, speaking of plus or minus 7, Rams taking on the Cowboys in the Coliseum at -7.
So I have whiffed on the Cowboys all season. I think I can't bet against them because every time I bet against them, they win, they cover. It's just extremely frustrating. But I'm gonna take my medicine one more time. I'm all over the Rams. I think this is a big game for Jared Goff. I think a big Todd Gurley game's coming. I think Jason Garrett, deer in headlights game is coming. Dak Prescott splits on the road, not nearly as impressive as at home. This is a game for the, once again, front 7 of the Rams better come to play and stop Zeke because no one else on that offense scares me. Akeem Talib will be all over Amari Cooper. So as long as they're all over Zeke, they should win this game by double digits. And I'll probably be regretting saying this when the Cowboys come in on Saturday and beat them and sadsies. But I really like the Rams in this spot. I'll take McVay over Garrett, and I'll take Jared Goff. Learned his lesson last year in the playoffs, and hopefully is ready to come play this year.
Yeah, I'm with you. This would not be a play for me, so I won't be. Let me rephrase that. I won't be betting this game for a serious dollar amount. I'll be sitting in my house on Saturday night, and we'll definitely have a little taste. But it won't be anything crazy. But I also will be on the Rams. Basically just rinse, repeat what Scott said, the dumbass Jason Garrett. Look, we actually got it against Seattle a couple times. Yeah. But they should have shown Pete Carroll with a dumbass look, just slamming the run into the middle of the defense. I mean,
every first down.
I think I told you guys, I read a tweet on Sunday morning. It said, "Have the Seahawks established the run yet?" And I'm like, yeah, this is hysterical. So again, I think that was more terrible coaching by Pete Carroll than it was Jason Garrett, as shocking as that may sound. I'll take the Rams, lay the number here at home.
Well, geez, that scares me a little. Yeah,
I don't trust the Cowboys. I don't trust Jason Garrett, especially on the road in the playoffs.
I don't trust the Cowboys either. I mean, but the Rams did lay an egg last year, and now I get it. They played all their games up until they didn't sit anyone, yada yada yada. But you're still gonna have that little birdie in the back of your mind. Yeah, you can say oh, it's behind us. The past is in the past. I mean, whatever Jared just watched there, I don't know.
Sorry, we got Northern Kentucky Wright State on the the iPhone.
Jared just dripping it right now. Yeah, I think what everyone said so far is accurate. You have the strength of the Rams, which is I think that defensive line. And then you have the strength of the Cowboys, which is used to be. It's not as strong as it used to be, but that O-line and then Zeke running the football. I think you have to go essentially the Bill Belichick mantra and say, okay, I'm going to load the box. I'm going to put, like you're saying, Akeem Talib on Amari Cooper. And I'm going to say, all right, try and beat me with literally anyone else on the field, because as we saw last week, I'm pretty sure the Cowboys' receiving core is depleted. And is what's-his-butt coming back this week? Has he been cleared to play yet, Aaron Andrews?
Yeah, no chance.
Yeah.
Alan Hearn's leg is still in the morgue.
Oh, man, that was brutal.
I
started sitting there watching that play, and I'm like, what is he smacking the ground for? Like, he looks fine. And then I was like, oh, his foot is facing straight up in the air, and his body is face down. Nothing makes sense.
It's not, and that's not bent at his knee.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, so gross.
Yeah.
Baki, as our grandmother used to say all the time. That's Baki. And that's what that was. And so we're moving on to Sunday. The Chargers.
I can't wait for this. I can't wait for what's next.
I'm very excited for this. Scott looks like, I just want to paint this picture right now. Scott looks like if you've seen any boxing movie where the underdog is like sitting in the corner. He's got his headphones in, the hoodie's up, and he's just like sweating, rolling his shoulder from side to side. He's like breathing. He's like, all right, here we go.
Let me at him.
I'm so excited for this game. I've heard so many people tell. Now, hold on. Full disclaimer. I am a huge Patriots fan. But if you've been listening to the podcast, I've been betting against the Patriots because I told you, too many points, or this is not a good spot for them. And I've had them nailed. Well, let me tell you one thing. I'll tell you one thing I know. Tom Brady, Bill Belichick, laying less than 6. That was my break point for this game. I wanted to see a number less than 6, and I was going to hop all over the Patriots. We are going to beat the Chargers. We're going to beat them by more than a touchdown. I feel so confident about this game, and I'll tell you why. First, the Chargers traveling back east, second week in a row. That takes a lot. That takes a toll on your body. They just had to get pounded by the Ravens again last weekend. The weekend before, they played a long game against the Denver Broncos, and that was in altitude. That takes a big toll on your body. So they're coming to the east. They're playing at one of the toughest places to play in the NFL, where, by the way, the Patriots are pretty good. They are 8-0 there this year. The Chargers are weak against the run. When the Patriots get the run game going with Sonny Michel, they win football games. I'll tell you what else. The Patriots are listening to everyone write them off. Everyone's all over the Chargers. All the money's all over the Chargers. And you know what? I haven't seen the line move 1 point against the Patriots, despite 70% of the tickets being on the Chargers. So what does that tell me? All the big money, all the smart money is on the Patriots. This Phillip Rivers, the past few weeks, has not been looking good. They only won this past weekend by 6. They dominated the Ravens the whole game. Lamar Jackson looked completely inept. I know, because I was all over the Ravens. I thought they were going to the Super Bowl this year. What do I know? So I'm hopping on the Patriots. I wanted to get I have a big number on them. I feel it's my favorite bet of the weekend. I had all my clients in on it. One of the props I love on DraftKings for this weekend is related to the Chargers scoring the least amount of points of all 8 teams this weekend.
Ooh.
I think it's super juicy. It's plus like 500 on DraftKings, something wild like that. So love the Pats this weekend. I'm expecting a big game from the defense. I love Phillip Rivers. I think he's the man, but you're going to see the Phillip Rivers dumb face this weekend. He's going to be super frustrated. Oh, by the way, he's 0-7 against the Patriots lifetime. Give me Pats all day.
Is his wife currently pregnant?
That's what I was going to say.
Is he going to go home and make another kid if they lose?
Is he tired and looking bad because he just had to buy 10 gifts for all 20 of his kids this past Christmas? Is he just all tired and exhausted from being Santa?
You think he was taking life advice from Cromartie when he was on the Chargers?
Oh.
You think they had a contest who could pop out more kids?
The thing though, Cromartie said he got snip snapped.
Twice.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
And he's still pumping them out.
Yeah, I bet. If I got clipped and then still had one, I'd have gone back to the doctor and be like,
"You're paying for.
You're
on
the hook for this one, pal." Yeah. If it happened again, I'd be like, "You're definitely on the hook for this one, dude."
Really screwing me here.
Yeah, I ain't paying no child support. I want no part of this game. I'm certainly not going to step in front of the Scott Panza train here. I think everything he said is correct. I also think if the Patriots weren't the Patriots, this is probably a pick 'em or a 1-point line. And I think if you swap the jerseys, I think if the Patriots had the roster the Chargers had, they're probably like 10-point favorites. So, it's hard for me to pinpoint this. Everything that Scott said is correct. This team has been a certain way for the last decade and a half. And at some point you just, Parcells said it right. Like you are what your record says you are, and their record has been impeccable. So at some point, until proven otherwise, I think you have to trust the Patriots in this spot. So for me, I'll be on it with my boy Scotty with the Patriots, but under normal circumstances, probably no play for me.
Yeah, I think there's another great coach, God rest his soul, that said, they are who we thought they were. We let them out the hook.
This is another game I like the under as well, and there's nothing less American than betting unders, but I do like the under in this game.
Corey, never bet under in my life. Burns.
Yeah.
Shout out to my man who got kicked out of Westgate for once that Seahawks-Cowboys game hit the over, knocked a sign over, and then stomped on it and was confused why the security threw him out. Shout out to you, my friend. That was
a little loose in there.
I hope that he hit some massive parlay because he was reacting like he just won $12 million.
Yeah, so the over came in. That last touchdown was the over. But yeah, this guy had acted like he just won the super contest.
Yeah.
Like, dude, take it easy. Woo!
Yeah, he was screaming.
Like Ernie Banks at Cubs game. Woo!
This will be an interesting one to watch. It's very hard to go against the Patriots when you give them a week off. They got some time to sit and relax.
That's another thing. Lance Lynn versus Bill Belichick. I mean, Lance Lynn kicked a field goal against a team that can't move the ball on the 2-yard line in the first quarter.
Yeah, there was some bad coaching. There was some bad coaching all around in that game.
It's going to be
last week.
Yeah, it's like Jason Garrett dumb face. You just got to bet against these coaches sometimes.
So the game I am most excited to see because this ride just continues to be unbelievable, and that is Napoleon Dynamite, Big Dick Nick, and the Philadelphia Eagles traveling down to the old New Orleans against Drew Brees, Sean Payton, and the Saints. You want this? Win 3 effing games. Sean Payton. There's a direct quote.
Which, did you know what he, with 250 in bricks underneath the Lombardi Trophy?
Yeah.
That'll get you fired up.
He's trying. Well, he's hanging around with Coach O, so there's obviously a competition to be the coolest guy ever.
You want to
get it? Come here, come play to you. Go Tigers.
So I have the line at -8 for the Saints. Is that what you guys are seeing?
Yep.
Yeah.
Opened at 10, moved down 2 points quickly. I believe in Nick Foles. I'll take the Eagles in the points. I can't give you much analysis on this one because it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. But the Eagles are getting too many points, all the backdoor potential in the world. Mm-hmm. I'll take the 8. I'll take the over. It's gonna be like the Super Bowl last year. Points galore. Points galore.
Micah.
I feel like I gotta go with my man Napoleon. It's like you just can't. Nothing makes sense. You kind of. It's like the Colts. Sometimes it's okay to just throw a tube in the water and just float on down the stream. It's a little bit easier. And if you flip and fall out of the tube, it's fine. You just kind of swim over the shore and you start over. But Colts have made us some money, and I mean, a lot of people I'm sure have been riding the Eagles, and they've made them some good money too. So hey, it doesn't have to make sense to make sense, and that is analysis, my friends. You cannot lose games in the NFL and still win.
The less you bet, the more you lose when you win.
Yep.
Just remember that. Eagles left for dead, beat the Rams outright on Sunday night in the Coliseum to stay alive. Bears beat the Vikings like idiots to play the Eagles instead of the Vikings.
Bears beats
nothing to do with my
Galactica.
fandom. Why do you want that team that's charging? The Vikings have played like shit the whole second half of the season. Yep. Sans like one game, and you're gonna beat them so you can play Philly like a team that's charging, and Nick Foles is back and all this other. So start with that. The second thing, Philly should have lost last week. Chicago scored the touchdown with 4 minutes left, 6 minutes left. I don't remember. I was still kind of hungover, more than kind of.
You're still inebriated. You weren't even going to the hangover part.
Exactly. So and then the other part is, okay, Chicago scores a touchdown. Do you think that Philly's going to go down the field 80 yards on the Chicago defense in what amounts to its final drive? No, but they did. Scored the touchdown. We all saw the doinked field goal, which is just remarkable. But
it was blocked. Okay.
By the way, there's video of Cody Parkey like aiming at a telephone pole and just drilling it over and over and over again, which is kind of funny.
To prove his accuracy, which is...
I was going to say proves his accuracy. Yeah, he went to Auburn, Scott, so Mike and I are going to defend him. But hasn't been a great year for Auburn kickers. Daniel Carlson cut.
He was cut, but then he set the rookie record for like accuracy as a field goal kicker with the Raiders, like NFL record.
The dude's a beast. He was between the ears for one game. Anyhow.
I would be too if Zimmer was telling me I was a worthless sack of crap every time I walked over the sideline. That guy wanted to. If he could have killed him on him and Saban, I think that's why kickers suck. Is because they know if they miss and go to the sideline, they're gonna get axe murdered.
I can tell you right now that place is going to be off the hook on Sunday afternoon, like late afternoon. Those Cajuns are going to be nice and lubed up. So it's going to be loud in there. It'll be fun to watch. I'll definitely be tuning in. But, I'm with you guys. I think that the fact that the Saints blew them out of the water and now they're only laying 8, I would lean towards the Eagles. But that's probably going to be a no play for me. But
what's with all the no plays this weekend? There's only 7 games left to bet this year.
Why
you can't not bet?
I gave my number. I gave my pick.
All right, but you just said, this is a no play. That's your second no play of the weekend. There's only 4 games.
Jerry, essentially, I'm going to translate for Scott here. He's saying you need to sack up.
Yeah.
Just put it out on the table. Just whip it out, put it on the table, and say, here I am, ladies. Love me.
And I'm saying...
Right state, North Kentucky, and I'm rooting for North Kentucky.
It's 53-47. Is that what you have?
Yeah. I can't believe we did this.
It's a great idea. It's a great idea. Take the Eagles. Eagles is my pick. Eagles.
Eagles.
Fly, Eagles, fly. Ugh. On the road to victory. That's all I know.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I went to college in Philly, and I just hate Philly fans. They're just the worst people.
They are the worst.
The absolute worst.
I'm sure we'll find out who's listening in Philly after these comments.
The Eagles, the Phillies, the fucking accents. It's fucking awful.
The water ice. Yeah, let's go to get the hoagies.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Hey, dude, I was at
what they don't have there is Boar's Head's meats.
What?
Yeah, they have the Thurman shit. They have Thurman and Munson. No, that's the baseball player. Thurman and something.
Dietz
or Keel and Dietz. What is
Dietz
it?
and Watson.
Yeah, terrible.
Key and Peele?
Get the Boar's Head, man.
Oh, Boar's Head's the best.
When you're the second city, you get the second type of cold cuts. That's really just what.
Get your cold cuts.
The company that I used to work for was based in Philly, and that was always my favorite thing. People would be like, whoever would be like, I'm going into the city this weekend. I'm like, oh, you're going up to New York? And they're like, no. I'm like, well, where are you going? And they say, the city. I'm like, no. There's only one, the city.
Well, it's like when you live in Minnesota and you call the University of Minnesota the U, and then down here you just really ruffle some feathers. If you leave the state of Minnesota, you go, oh, yeah, I went to the U. And they're like, oh, really? Like, what'd you do there? It's like,
yeah,
great weather. And you're like, is it, though?
Not the same.
Yeah. So there you go, Kurt. You can rant on that when you come on the show.
Yeah, get him on here. Get him on the show, and I'll crush his dreams.
But that's going to do it for this week's edition of Pigskin Junkies. Once again, I'm Michael Larson. That's Jared Larson. That's Scott Panza. We're going to go so these two can drip this ferocious game. I'm going to go contemplate drinking my sorrows away. It's a great life, folks. Thank you so much. I guess we're out of here.
See ya.